Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. We're continuing our Ask the Expert segment with Brenda Hollingsworth from Auger Hollingsworth. And we have some interesting calls coming through over the commercial break, so we want to be able to get to those right away. And so we're going to head to Graceview, Quebec, I believe, and Yvonne should be on the line. Good morning, Yvonne.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your question?
My question is, I had a head-on collision last year. Why isn't there an amount of money that starts right away when you have an accident, because your pain starts right away. You're suffering right away, whether it's physical or mentally.
Good question, and I think this is something that you deal with quite often in the office.
Yeah, it is a real problem that the settlement doesn't happen for a long time. I do appreciate that. I can't make it faster, but people still have to buy groceries. They still have to pay for their mortgage. Now, in Ontario, and I believe to a certain extent in Quebec as well, but you'd need to consult a Quebec lawyer about this. There are accident benefits, no-fault benefits that everybody is supposed to get, regardless of who caused the accident, that are supposed to tide you over until you can get a settlement. In Ontario, there's an income replacement benefit. So if you can't work, you get a portion of your income. The maximum is $400 a week, so it's not great, but it's something. Your rehab should be largely funded. There's a medical rehab benefit that you get from your own insurance company again that should help you bridge the gap until you get a settlement. If you're someone who wasn't employed, there are other benefits. If you're the primary caregiver for someone, there are benefits for that. If you weren't working and aren't a caregiver, there's a non-earner benefit that's less, but again, it's a weekly benefit that you should qualify for. So if you're not receiving those, and a lot of people don't know to apply, so Yvonne's not alone if he hasn't applied, call your own insurance company. Even if you're a passenger in a car, even if you were a pedestrian, call your own insurance company and ask for the accident benefit forms. And you'll get an application, you'll fill it out, and you should be assessed for some benefits to help you along the way.
So there were a number that you just listed right there.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're filling them out and getting it for the most that you can find and get to.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, for our clients, we do that. We make sure that they're getting the accident benefits that they're entitled to. But this is your own insurance company. They actually have an obligation to tell you what you're entitled to. It's called a duty of good faith, and they should help you get what you're entitled to. Income replacement benefit is the one that people are sort of most desperate for. Medical rehab's also important. You know, whether it's physical or psychological trauma, you should get support through therapy, and you get to choose the therapists, and the insurance company should fund that.
Interesting. Yvonne, hopefully we answered your question and that you're making the calls to be able to get those answers. We do have another caller, I believe, and Karen is calling us from Calabogie. Karen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, what's your question?
My question is, my stepson was killed in 2011 in a transport accident. He was driving a transport. He was struck by another transport, and there was a Greyhound bus involved in it with over 70 people. He was the only one killed. He was not at fault. We have gone to court, and of course the person that caused the accident has been tried and sent to jail for a short period of time. But now we have another lawsuit going, and we're just wondering how long would that be before that could be dealt with. We were told that people on the bus, we had to wait to see if anybody on the bus would be filing charges. Is this true, and how long does something like that go on for?
Right. Well, first of all, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
It's terrible. We hear lots of sad stories, and this is another one. Typically, cases where somebody has died are actually in a lot of ways easy to settle, because the amounts that are payable when somebody died are fairly well established in the case law. How to calculate the income loss and that kind of thing is pretty straightforward. But I think the advice that you've received is right. There's one pot of money. If there's one person at fault, there's one pot of money that is available to settle that claim or to resolve those claims. And you do have to wait to make sure that everybody who is going to make a claim has made a claim. Because if the at-fault driver's insurance company settles with one person and there are 10 other claims that exceed the amount of money available, the amount of insurance money available, it becomes a problem. So that is a real issue.
But they're right now, they're dealing with so much that's happened. I mean, this is pretty recently, 2011, and yet there are people still waiting on the bus to be able to figure that. So you're constantly waiting for others to be able to finalize or to put closure on your own
Right.
case.
Well, there's a 2-year limitation period, right?
Okay.
So for any adult who's going to potentially file a claim, you'll have to wait until the 2-year mark to make sure that whoever's going to file a claim has filed it. And there's 6 months to serve the claim, so it's really 2.5 years before you could know for sure that any adult isn't going to file a claim. Now, if there were children on the bus, that's a whole other issue because
They have longer.
they have longer. So, you know, if it's all a question of adults, that will be something that, you know, you're coming close to the time when you'll have that answer. But unfortunately, it's true. You do have to wait until everybody who's going to come forward comes forward. And that's true for all kinds of accidents where there are multiple passengers or passengers in multiple vehicles. You're going to have a hard time settling those early because the insurance company needs to know that they're not giving too much to one person.
Karen, wishing you and your family all the best in this situation, and of course there's always people to call and ask more questions and to be able to call the office. Thank you, Brenda, for the Ask the Expert, and of course the information listed right there on your screen in terms of how to get a hold of them, phone number, email, website, and their address. We'll be back with more from CTV Morning Live right after this.